folks. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. No, 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 no. It is. I'm gonna look up the actual start date. Yeah, it is start date 5495.7. Here on the Enterprise bridge of the Enterprise D. We are. Oh, we background audio lower. Okay. I'll lower it down. The bridge audio. How is that? Is that better? Is that better? Do I need to turn the gain up? All right. It's been a hot minute since I've done this. All right. Up a pinch. Up a pinch. Hi, Natalie. Lower background audio. Okay, I'll lower it even more. We need the bridge audio. You need the bridge playing. You need the bridge sound. All right. All right. Hold on. I gotta walk across the bridge here. Yes. Just walking over, sitting on the captain's chair. Ah, yes. Stardate 5465.7. We here on the bridge of the Enterprise D have come back into the Tuscarian Espardia planet, looking for more updates on the Network Engineer Simulator. Ah, yes. So how's it going, everybody? Holy crap. We've got quite a few people in chat. That's awesome. It's awesome. Thank you. I know it's been forever since we have done any kind of updates for Walrus Game Studio. I should have worn my Walrus Game Studio shirt, but instead I wore my Cisco "What if you could just Control Alt Assure," for that network observability platform, because we're also going to be talking about some network engineering stuff as well too. So strap in. We're gonna do a bit of Q&A for NetSim. Actually, hold on. So let's think about this. Let's think about this here. So, the agenda is going to give a company update on Walrus as a whole. And then I'm going to do an overview of Network Engineer Simulator. Show you the demo level, which, if you've been following us, you've already seen it. But then I'm going to show you two of the other levels that I have built and showcase. Others have been building other levels. I just don't have access to them. We haven't uploaded them. But I've personally built two other levels that there's still a lot of work that has to get done on them, but the major layout is done. So I'm going to showcase that, take questions in chat and from our Discord as well too. And then I think we'll end it off for, doing some Q&A on what is it like to actually be a network engineer, or a network architect, or even a network administrator, right? Because, we've had questions in that. It's been like the past couple months. Like I feel like our Discord has been popping off, and I know everybody wants to play the game. Like trust us, we want to get it out. So I guess let's I'm gonna make myself bigger to make myself look more menacing. I'm in front of the bridge of the Enterprise here. All right. So all right, company update for Walrus Game Studio. So it's no surprise that we've been quiet, right? We've been quiet for a long time. Going back a year ago, we were really hoping 2025 was going to be our year, right? We had all these plans. We were hyped. We were all, just working in sync, getting it together. Then January of 2025 hit, and all four of us on the team experienced something different to where we just had to like stop. And I'm not going to get into specifics as to what they were for each person. Like I went through something, then the other three guys went through something as well too. But just know, like, right in January, it halted all our progress. And it has taken all of us a long time to really get back on our feet. Yeah, it's life being life. And as we've always stated from the beginning, that this is part-time for us. You know, we want to we would love to make this full-time, but you know, all of us have families we have to take care of. You know, kids, parents, wife, any of that. Anyone else just getting an error? Not sure. Crash roll. I don't know what kind of errors, but so yeah, so that's what's taken us so long, and that's why, that is why there hasn't been like any word, no progress to show per se. It doesn't mean we haven't done work on the game. We've been doing work. It's just we thought we would be a lot farther at this point in time than we actually are. And it's just, and I guess I just want to put it out there that it's not dead. You know, the game is still being developed. It's not dead. It's not an abandonware project. What else have I heard? Like, yeah, it's not abandoned. We're still working on it. It's very active. Like I said, it's unfortunately it's taken us this long to sort of like get back up on our feet and try to get back into the swing of things. Actually, this weekend, I don't know if the others want me to spoil this, but this weekend we're actually getting together as a team for what we dub our Walrus Whomper. So since we've started this company, every year we dub what we call a Walrus Whomper, where the four of us get together in person and, you know, talk about the company, you know, obviously have fun and play games. You know, last year we got to celebrate the release of our first book, Darkstorm Adventures, which, you know, hold on, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go get the book. You know, we are targeting okay. Okay. I see the question. Can my potato of a PC run it? We are targeting at 2070 or better. For a second there, I thought like, oh yeah, that's the year we're gonna release Network Sim 2070. No, but maybe stupid. Maybe a little bit hard to see. Because of the weird background thing I've got. But yeah, so this is our first book, Darkstorm Adventures. It's in the Discord. So last year we got to celebrate the release of our first D&D book, which was fun. So like I said, this weekend actually we're getting together again and gonna celebrate, you know, have fun and, you know, really get back into really try to get back into the swing of things. So that is the company update. The other thing that I did want to mention as well, that is, it's about the company, but yet realign the timeline. There you go. Realign the deflector shield and all that. See, what would I do without you, Dante? But so realistically here, so another thing we are working on is there is a project that has been in the works as well that is not related to game development, that members of the Walrus team have been working on. And I bring this up because this project it's not a game, and I'm not going to get into specifics, and I apologize about that. It's just I can't. But the good news is that this project will hopefully and most likely help fund the company. Yeah, there is NDA stuff. But like I said, so doing this project will help fund the company of Walrus. And so what that means is, should this project succeed, I mean, it could be very realistic that some of us could, you know, maybe take a step back from our day jobs, right, and focus more on Walrus. That can also mean, hey, we get a contractor or something to, help us with coding or design or whatever it is, right? It's kind of, it opens up a lot of avenues for us that we can really be able to push forward. Not just this game, not just Network Engineer Simulator. Like, yeah, we want to get this game done, but we have so many other projects in the pipeline that we really want to get done. Like, I've got most of book 2 for Darkstorm Adventures, like, written, like, in rough draft form. A lot of what needs to get worked on is art, but then we have other game ideas that we want to do. I mean, crap. The first game that Dante was working on, Walrus A Go Go, the Walrus Dance Battle Royale game, that actually was very far along before we decided to table it for Network Engineer Simulator. I mean, that's a game we still want to put out there. The Walrus PvP Dance Off. And I know there's other ideas, like there was a board game idea about zombies that we were talking about that it's actually, a lot of the rules already kind of written for it. It's just, it's time. It's essentially time that we need in order to do the stuff we want to do. So yeah, that's kind of the update with the company. It's so once again, 2025 turned out to not be our year in terms of wanting to get something out. We're hoping that will change. We are hoping, especially meeting in person again, getting together in person, it's going to sort of rejuvenate us too, especially after this year. And like I said, we're finally starting to get back to a normal pace in life that we can start focusing on this again. And then, like I said, if this project I'm alluding to kicks off, then that's going to be great for the entire team and help fund the company. And like I said, the sky's the limit from that point. So that's it for the company update. Feel free to throw any questions in chat, but I know what you're all are really here for. You all want to see Network Engineer Simulator, right? I mean, you don't want to listen to this guy talk or whatever, right? It's kind of lame. All right. Hold on. Let me get, I think, hold on. Let me just get this set up here. Oh, shoot. Which, is it this one? Is it going to be this one? Okay. And that should be it. Let's see. Oh, I have it locked. Do we do fit to screen? Oh, it is fit to screen. I mean, that should look fine, right? Peepo happy. Peeplet. Where's Peeplet? Oh, we gotta get rid of Peeplet there. All right, so let me see. Is this? I'm gonna play the demo level here. Oh God, it didn't save from last time. Ugh. Yeah, this is not where it's supposed to be starting, and I've got the debug on. I don't know why it's not saving. And like I said, I do not have the latest copy here. So my copy is a bit behind because the way we push the code changes and all that. But yeah. Oh, that's our main menu here. All right, let me stop this. Okay. Why is the starting drag player start? It's just like I don't get why it keeps. Ugh. No. Now. This is why I am not the one of the programmers here for this. Drag it back out. If there's a faster way to do this, that'd be great. Boom. All right, hold on. I'm gonna drag it back out to the parking lot where it needs to go. I swear. It's freezing up on me. I think it's got to do something with my graphic settings too. Because I think I was messing with the graphic settings at one point to try to simulate other PCs, and I probably forgot how to reverse it. You can get the location or the position you want. You can just manually edit it where you want, right? All right, that makes too much sense, Durian Granier. I'm probably mispronouncing your name, and I appreciate that because that makes a lot of sense. And that's probably something I need to do. But like I said, this is not the latest version of this level and all that. So anything I do here, I mean, I can save it, but I just won't push up any changes or anything. Oh my god, I gotta look at the graphic settings again too. Boop. Save it right there. Alright, let's save. Yes. No, I do not want to connect to revision control. Okay. Alright, let me see if I can... Where is my graphics settings again? Oh my gosh. I can't remember. Oh, whatever. Okay, let's play. Oh, I'm not hearing the music. Oh, there we go. Okay. I wonder why the music's not playing now. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Why is it doing this? Could it be my... Maybe it's because I'm streaming too? Oh, so little thing with the settings. If you notice, like, each of the settings, especially like in the audio, kind of look like an Ethernet cable. And we've got the RJ45 plug going for the back and forth. I just like that little... little setting there. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I try to... Oh, keystones. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the other name for them. Oh my gosh, Dante, why is this lagging so bad for me right now? Well, let me open up my task manager. No, my CPU's not being pegged out. It's got to be Unreal. Oh, my foliage. I thought you're probably right. Okay. You know, you're calling me out. You're right about the friggin' foliage, and I thought I reduced the graphics for those. Like, oh, so it's probably on your So the foliage edit's probably on one of your saves or your revisions. Like I said, I have not downloaded anything from anyone in a while because I know you and Lynx were doing a lot of the back end coding still. And I don't know why the... Oh, yeah, I need to get the security card. It's my freaking foliage. I'm getting called out in chat here. We need to push our branches back. Yeah, yeah. I don't know why the audio's not working too. Yeah, something's broken in my urgent. See, and not even all the light. Yeah, okay. It's got to be something on mine because yeah, if you want, you can push it up and I can try to pull down and all that. Because oh, that's right. We added the little highlight thing. I forgot about that. Yeah, so one of the things that I don't think we had before, that last time we did the Q&A, we've got the highlight. And shoot, how do you zoom again? Or maybe I need the cable. Oh my god, I don't know how to play. Want me to? No, I meant run my copy. Hold on. Well, because yeah, I think what we can do is I can share your screen. Let me show them the other two levels I've made, and then we can go back to the demo level. All right, what is? Oh, look, that's one of our favorite streamers. Why isn't the video playing? Ugh. Yeah, my copy's not very good. Yeah, so you know, when you're just plugging up a switch, make sure you create your network loop. And that when you create a network loop, it makes the packets go faster because as they spin really quickly, then they just shoot out and go. So make sure you always create your loops. Shoot, how do you? Oh, I forgot how to change the color. Totally joking, by the way. Oh yeah, I think this is some of the older cabling logic too, because that's not looking right. I don't think I have the latest cable logic either. Do you want a broadcast storm? Because that's how you get a broadcast storm. Broadcast storms. Hey, listen here. We forgot how it works. Okay, listen. To be fair, I'm not one of the programmers. All right, I'm one of the level designers. Okay. Layout. I don't remember how we programmed it. All right. And oh, do we still have the marker? The marker. Wait, why can't I? No. Oh, here we go. That's right. So, as you see the whiteboard, I just got ads. Hang tight. You see the whiteboard. Do a smiley face. Why is it when it always plays an ad immediately after? It knows. Yeah, I mean, yeah, God, I haven't streamed in so long. I probably need to change that. At least try to do more streams on NetSim, maybe network engineering, maybe streams on Magic the Gathering too, since, you know, I like Magic a little bit. But yeah. So yeah, you can draw on the whiteboard. You definitely don't want to draw anything explicit on here. Look, that's an airplane. No, that's part of the Enterprise. Um, and that's part of the Enterprise right there. That's the deflector shield blasting off. Um, so, yeah, and oh, of course, yeah. I don't have the. No, I can't type in it. Oh, yeah, no, log out. Yeah, the CLI isn't on here yet either. Yeah, I've got an old version of this, but all right. Oh, let's go to the main menu. So, oh, you're not gonna be able to. Oh, there we go. So that is what our main menu looks like right now. Um, a wild links virus legal HR pair. I mean, So right now, the CLI we are planning to put in the game is a custom CLI that is going to be heavily based on Cisco. So it is. Whoa, what happened here? Okay. All right, I'm going to open up level 1 here. All right, I'm going to showcase you all the first level of the game. So the way we're sort of designing the game is about the first 9 levels of the game are going to be, of course it's Cisco. I mean, it's the most popular, right? Even if you go to other okay okay, it's preparing shaders. I got scared there. Like, oh, did all my assets just disappear? I was about to freak out. Like, oh no, all my assets disappeared. Um, so I mean, even other brands, right? HP, Aruba, Juniper, Ubiquity, ViOS, you name it. They're all very similar to Cisco. Each of them have their own little quirks and how they do stuff, but we opted to go with as close to Cisco as possible because that is going to be the most well known. Um, so I will say, like I said, I wish I had the final, not the final, but so there is another version of this level out there with much improved lighting. I do not have that version yet. So you're gonna notice everything's gonna look very, very like whited out. I guess like everything's gonna look very bright. And the I don't have the latest version of the level, but we saw it not too long ago, Dante. Like, um, I feel I work for an ISP. Most of what we use is Juniper with a little bit of Nokia mixed in. And Juniper's good. Like I remember. Okay, so I may be aging myself. I haven't used Juniper in a long time, and this was one of the few because I use Juniper firewalls, Juniper SSG 140 or something. And I remember liking the GUI better than the CLI because I remember the CLI you could not like if you made a typo, that was it. You just had to press enter and try typing again, and you couldn't copy and paste. All right, let's play this. This one should run a lot smoother, hopefully. Wait, why? There we go. I don't know why I got stuck there. Okay, so I'll set the stage a little bit here. Like as I was mentioning before, the first 9 levels of NetSim are basically going to be tutorial levels, right? So they're going to be it's going to be a very basic sort of stuff here. Um, you're gonna walk into this billing office, right? And you're gonna see a whole bunch of cubicles. A little conference table in the middle. You got some posters, to try to the little bit of the scaling's a bit off, but some motivational posters like the best cure for sleepiness is to get your work done. um so and then you've got managers offices. Yeah, managers offices, and then you've got your IDF. I don't have any equipment in the IDF yet, but so as I was saying, so the first 9 levels are going to be your tutorial levels. Like, so for this level, for instance, so we're also going to have a hub level where you're going to have jobs to do. So the first 9 levels are going to be in sequential order, and then after that, it may be sort of you do them at whatever order you want. But the first 9 levels will be sequential, and so for this one, so this job is going to be basically starting off very simple, right? Because we also have to contend for people who may not know anything about networking and they just want to play a game. So it's going to hold your hand a lot. So with this level, you're basically you're going to come in here and you're basically going to have to wire up the cubicles, right? You're going to have, you're going to do some very basic, like, all right, this cubicle here, look at the wall port behind there, and see, okay, jacks labeled 1 and 2. All right, look at 1 and 2 here. Go to the patch panel. All right, let's patch in, patch panel 1 to switch port 1, patch panel 2 to switch port 2, and vice versa, doing it for all the cubes in this section of the office as well as the manager's office. And then to top off the end of the level is you will get into the CLI of the switch or switches, if I recall, and make sure they're on the right VLAN. So that's kind of a high level overview of what level 1 is. It's very simple. And I'll explain that in a second, fools. So the thing that we're trying to do as we're building these levels is you have to remember that we're going to get people who may be interested in networking, and like know nothing about it, right? So for people that are in networking, the idea of going into a switch and changing a VLAN of a port, right? For people who've done networking, that's easy. That's you don't even have to think about it, right? For people who have never done networking, that to them just, whoa, okay, hold on, how do I do that? I don't understand what you're talking about. So yeah, it is going to be very handheld. And to your point, fools, when you're saying, can we get a network engineer difficulty, which is basically an anti-hand-holding mode where you need to figure things out for yourself? Yes. I don't know what that looks like yet. So the way we're sort of looking at the difficulties of the game is we're obviously going to have like what we don't have names for the difficulties yet, but a casual mode, right? Like, let's say you literally just want to play a cabling sim and learn a little bit of networking on the side, but you give no craps about learning CLI or something. That's going to be our casual mode, right? Where you come in here, you label up all the not label, but you patch in all the cables here on the switch. And then if you don't care about learning CLI or anything like that, you would just basically remote into the computer and it would do the commands for you, right? And boom, you're done with the level. And then we were sort of looking at maybe a more intermediate mode where it's very similar to casual, but instead of it doing all the CLI for you, it'll guide you on, what commands you need to put in. And then to your point, fools, it would be a lot less detail given where, hey, you got to come in here, patch up this office on everything needs to be on VLAN, 50. And then you need to make sure all the ports are on the right, VLAN. Boom, you're done. So that's sort of what we're going for. And it's a tricky balance, right? Because, like I said, a lot of these tutorial levels, they're going to be very easy for more experienced engineers or people who are maybe, have a bit of experience under their belt. So we're trying to accommodate for all of those kind of experiences. And it's gonna be fun, like as a designer, as trying to design these levels and the puzzles. That is gonna be the fun part for me. All right, so hold on, I don't want to ignore the chat. That implies pushing the full of network, which I don't Okay, I told my teacher about the game, and if the game is realistic enough in terms of networking command stuff, he would actually let us play it to learn stuff or use it as a fun way to learn for new students. Yes, that is what we want. Um, would there be an implementation to represent the shift to cloud-based networking as well, i.e., Meraki's lineup of cloud-based routers, or is that too much of a reach? So right now, we're not really looking at that. Um, we do want to have some cloud stuff, but the thing that we want to, I mean, so it's really kind of two things where we want to make a fun game where, it's a simulation of running cables, making patch panels look pretty, and doing some networking, right? Um, the the as far as getting deeper into the networking, um, we do, but the focus right now is more on the foundational aspects of networking, right? Like your foundation of VLANs, of subnetting, of routing, um, you know, doing kind of basic ACLs, opening up ports, routing out the internet, some basic firewall level stuff. Obviously, with trying to build all this from the ground up, we are going to be limited on what we can and can't show, just due to the amount of time it may take. Like, unless a company like Palo Alto or Cisco comes and says, "Hey, we want to sponsor your game or help you build it, we'll give you access to our images," then then yeah, we're off to the races that we could show anything. But right now we're just focusing on, okay, we're gonna build what we can and have it focus on the foundations of networking, because anybody who comes into the field of networking, regardless whether it's on-prem or cloud, if you don't understand the basics, then you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Understood. So maybe DLC later that introduces cloud and maybe virtualized firewalls across. Yes, that would be. I mean, so Crashel. That's a really good question, right? Like, why wouldn't Cisco want to do this? Like, sponsor the game. I mean, you're asking. You're telling me. So I was actually at Cisco Live, not this year. It was last year. Last year at Cisco. So I try to go to Cisco Live almost every year, right? I didn't go this year because of life. But I was at Cisco Live last year, and I was talking with a lot of vendors, and even some of the salespeople that I've worked with in the past at Cisco and even at Palo Alto, right? I've shown them this game, and they love the concept of it. Obviously, a lot of them want to see a working demo of it before even going to any kind of big companies, right? So I mean, that's kind of like been a thought of ours that, hey, should this pick up traction, why not let us try to go to Cisco and be like, hey, you know, you want part of the game? Obviously there would be financial implications of it, but it's something we've thought about, and I have been in talks with companies, but like I said, the big thing is just needing a working demo. So as soon as the demo is out, there's a chance to get sponsored. I mean, I don't know if sponsor is the right word, right? Because it's not really sponsor. It may be like a collaboration more than anything. So it's a maybe, right? So I've got contacts in the industry, that, are, would love to be a part of this, right? And I'm not going to name companies or anything, but I mean, I did kind of name one of them, Cisco and Palo, but besides those two, all right, those are the big known ones. But there's other companies in mind that we've talked to that, would love to get in on this, because one of the cool things about starting this whole project is just the amount of people we have talked to from across the world. Um, I had this lady reach out to me from South Africa who actually, showcased our game in some IT conferences in Africa and England, which kind of blew my mind. She even sent us the videos of it. And the big thing that she was telling us in South Africa is there is a lack of new network engineers joining the force because everybody's going to cybersecurity or programming or cloud. And when you, which makes sense, right? Because those are the popular things. Those are the in things with IT. And but I mean, you're not getting as much fresh blood into networking anymore. Um, and as much as things are moving to the cloud, I mean, someone still has to be running all those data centers. Someone still has to run all the ISP infrastructure that's out there, and that's still all done with your very basic route switch and firewalls. And you know until they start getting away from that, I mean, we're still going to need network engineers out there. It just may, the enterprise side of networking may be, um it is changing, not a maybe. All right, so we're getting a lot of, so Juniper and Nokia would probably do something like this. Okay, yeah. Of course, I could just imagine if Cisco decided to work with you guys. Oh, that'd be awesome. We just got a new way in our education, so it's not only infrastructure and programming, no, it's cybersecurity also. It always blows people's minds when they figure out the cloud is just someone else's hardware doing the same thing you could write. Yeah, it's so in my current job that I'm in right now, um, I'm really learning more about GCP, Google's cloud environment, especially the networking side. And whenever anyone tells me about or asks me about cloud networking and all that stuff, like how to get into it, the or what are the differences between Azure, AWS, and GCP, I feel like I say the same answer where it's doing cloud networking is for the most part the same as on-prem enterprise networking, but it's just knowing where to click in your cloud provider's mess of menus, like setting up a VPN and GCP, right? Like, okay, where do I go to, you know, do my phase one and phase two and my encryption domain? And it's, once you learn it, it's easy. And same for if you haven't to set up BGP or set up a new firewall policy. It's like, all right, where do I click on in the 5 million menus? I feel like cloud networking is overly complicated when it's not really that hard. They just, too many stupid menus. That's my little gripe. But can anyone here fix my printer? Yes. Step one, uh, take your favorite weapon. Step two, take the printer outside. Step three, uh, destroy the printer and never use it again. Yeah, that's a really good point. So I personally recommend not to go to cloud unless you're comfortable with CLI engineering, just so you know what the menus actually mean. Yes, yes, and like I said, if you don't have a basic foundational understanding of networking, then if you pivot to the cloud, it's going to be, to me, probably even more confusing. Like I said, I like cloud networking, right? Like it can be, it's not hard. It's just, it's frustrating because, God, what was it? The other day I was trying to, okay, so a little networking story. Um, so the other day I was having to add a new subnet in our BGP routing table to go out to our SD-WAN cloud. Um, so from our GCP network, I was having to add in a new subnet to broadcast across our SD-WAN. So then some of our branch sites could then access that new subnet up in the cloud. It took me like 30 to 45 minutes to find that menu in GCP. Like, where do I add a subnet to just advertise out? Where, like, if this was Cisco or Palo or Fortinet, I would just know it take me 2 minutes, if that. It was just knowing where in the menu to click, and I felt like it took me longer, because I had to click like 5 million different menus. And if you were to ask me to go do it again, I already forgot like where the heck it was, because I felt like I clicked 50 things before I could find it. So, cloud printers. You send a print job out and it gets delivered to your mailbox in 3 to 5 business days. I like that. Yes, sandbox mode. Yep, like Dante said, we are going to have a sandbox mode. That is, yeah, I mean, it's, I don't have any, shoot, what was I going to, oh yeah, the sandbox mode. Like, I don't have any other, information on what the hub level is going to look like, except it'll probably look very similar to the little data center that we have in the demo level, but probably just bigger. And then you get to sort of generate, switches, right, that you can rack and stack, and you just build your own lab. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be like a limit in sandbox mode as to build hardcore stuff, but essentially the sandbox mode is just going to be, all right, we're going to have like give you a menu of something of like, all right, you want to generate 5 switches, 2 routers, and 1 firewall. All right, here's the physical hardware, go and rack and stack it, and then you'll be able to CLI into that equipment and do whatever, right? It's basically going to be a way to build your own lab, right? And we were also talking about in ways to save that lab, right, or save that sandbox mode lab. And let's say you want to, I don't know, I personally like doing this where you build a little puzzle in your network, like you break your network and then you give that level to your friend to be like, all right, here, fix the network, it's not routing anymore. That's just me. I used to do that in Packet Tracer all the time when studying for CCNA and all that. So Fools 12, you were saying something about a hub level before. Can you expand upon that? Yeah, so the hub level is, I mean, really, it's not going to be that big. Like, the hub level is just going to be like for instance, it's not fully built out yet, but say this is going to be your hub level, right? This office. So when you get done with a job, you come back here, get onto your computer, browse the internet, check your email. There'll probably be a little board for tickets or something, and then you just decide what job to do next. Then you just go out the door, and boom, level loads. That kind of thing. Something very basic. And then, we've also toyed with the idea of like little trophies or something, like, hey, you just untangled a big mess or something. Here's a little, statue of an RJ-45. I don't know. Something like that, right? It's notice how Zuby gets the nice office and I have a janky ass cubicle. That is right. So if you notice that, Matthew right there, and then, all right, that's Kurt, Arya, Primrose, Katniss. Wait, where's Dante's cubicle? David Thorne, Sally. Oh, there's Dante. If anyone knows Jarnathan. Okay, so I'm sorry. I've got so many other people chatting. Man, I could see this getting crazy. Imagine you build all this stuff in the local DC, then you take the roll and eyes, although set using EVPN, MPLS, or something. Oh yeah, that's kind of what we're envisioning, right? Like, you just, as long as we've got the protocols in it, because right now, the CLI we're building right now is we're just focused on layer 2 for right now. So the majority of layer 2 commands we're trying to put in. And then once we get a lot of that, then we're going to start adding on to that, like more layer 3 protocols. You get into your routing and all that stuff, and the different kind of routing: static, OSPF, BGP, EIGRP, and so on. Shit. I know Dante's gonna love me when I have to have him program VXLAN. Be like, what do you mean you have to add an additional 50 bytes to the packet? He's gonna love me for that. So, alright. So now that I'm studying, I know we get a lot of packet tracer assignments we have to troubleshoot on. Could it ever happen that we could take that packet tracer file into the game and do it there? I'm gonna say no, Crash Arl. That's I Now I'm saying no, but I don't know how we would do that, and that'd be more the programmers to understand those packet tracer files, but I would almost say high level no, but since those are like Cisco proprietary file types, if I recall. Our DC admin just walked me through VXLAN today. I mean, VXLAN is not hard. It's just dumb. So, well, not dumb. It's just never ever run VXLAN with OSPF and have Palo Altos participating in that OSPF ring. Just speaking from experience, that has screwed me in the past. Because Palo Altos do not do well if you're running OSPF on the Palos, you add those additional 50 bytes, OSPF will start failing. So, let me showcase level 2. So, like I said, level 2 is not finished as well either. I need to get this level over to our lighting designer, who's really good at lighting. There we go. Alright, that's hilarious because we run VXLAN and BGP with virtualized Palo Alto firewalls for end users. So the BGP won't be a problem. It's Palo and OSPF with VXLAN that you may run into issues. Okay, so alright. So yeah, well, so if you at some point got to work with Cisco, maybe it could be possible. Possibly. All right. So the second level of the game, just to showcase real quick. Yeah, it's going to be in the same office building. Second level of the game is you're going to come into the call center here, and it's going to be very similar to level 1, where you have to go to each cubicle, match up what's on the wall plate, and then patch panel it into here, and the patch panel into the switch. But there's going to be a caveat, though, in this level, and this is, I'm sure, everyone's favorite thing that's ever happened to them when cabling. All the labels on the wall plates will be wrong. So this cubicle here may showcase, wall jack labels D10 and D11. It's not going to match up with what's in the patch panel. So you're going to learn how to tone ports and understanding how important toning actually is and label things correctly. And then once you get everything labeled correctly and toned correctly, then you come to the switch and put everything on the right VLAN. I just got back from the ad break and heard labeling will be wrong. Yes. So as I said before, this will be a level where you have to cable up an entire cubicle call center, but all the wall jack labels will be incorrect. And so it'll be up to you to tone each port and make sure that everything is plugged in correctly, labeled correctly on both sides. And it's going to be, kind of spoiling it here, but it's going to be done in a way where, you're going to have to work at it. Like, you're going to have to tone each cubicle, right? Now, if that sounds boring, welcome to network engineering, or welcome to cable, running cables. Anyone who's done any kind of network cabling or anything, you've had to do that. But hey, this is Network Engineer Simulator, where we're trying to simulate as real an issue as possible. Did my mic just switch? It shouldn't have. Hold on, am I on the right mic? Yeah, I'm on my Yeti. I'm on my mic. Mic issue? Oh, what happened? Are you guys not hearing me? Gain is too high. I need to get a new... I think I'm having... Yeah, hold on. What about now? I think I need a new cable here, because this cable is seen better time. Hold on. Okay, what about now? How's it sounding now? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I do need to pick up a new cable for this mic. I have not used it in a hot minute, and it was kind of bent. So it definitely needs it. So yeah, so this is gonna be a level where, yeah, you're gonna have to label and tone everything and then make sure everything's in the right VLAN. So this old Talios, as a retired cable crawler, I was helping with some networking on a Danish military base. We needed to repatch some stuff. They had no labels about anything at all. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that I've been there. Like, in a previous job, we had to take over this large outpatient clinic, and we had 48 hours to cut everything over. And so typically when we do these, we start Friday night and then we try to end before Sunday afternoon, right? So I'm kind of less than 48 hours, because you got to be ready by Monday. And so I recall getting in there, looking in the IDF or MDF, and it's just a spaghetti of cables. And nothing was labeled. And I just remember at one point, I just looked at the spaghetti mess, and I had my junior network admin at the time. I just unplugged everything, threw it out, and I'm like, we're toning these one by one to find it, because nothing was labeled correctly in the IDF or out on the floor. And it took us, I don't know how many hours to finally find everything. I 199% recommend getting a 90-degree angle cable for that Yeti. Oh, okay. I'll have to look into that. Um, and yes, what Dante is saying in chat, he did rewrite the network core classes. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. We couldn't close the closet. They had so many 10-meter long cables just hanging down, so they couldn't close. It was hell. It hurts seeing stuff. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, it does. It's not fun. So I know for level 2, I mean, lighting still has to get done. There's some other stuff too that needs to get fixed. I think some of the physics for the chairs need to get fixed because I was having issues with it. What was it? I would turn on the physics, try to mess with the gravity of the physics or whatever, and it would just, like, the chair would just shoot up. So I need one of the programmers to look at, like, why is the chair's physics just going haywire here? But yeah, like I always, oh god, no, and this is all messed up here too. So I like doing little names on the on the cubicles and all that. Greg McDonald, Ashley Stone. None of them really mean anything. Robert Incock, and doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything bad. Benjamin Sitgo doesn't mean anything. Richard Roberts. None of it really means that much of anything. So don't worry about it. The collision boxes are probably too angled. Yeah. No, we're trying to be PG friendly, Crash Arl. So those are the 2 levels that we had, and then basically I'll spoil level 3. Level 3 will be a combination of both this office and this office, and essentially level 3 you're gonna have to figure out, okay, one of the computers here needs to be able to send a file to one of the computers over here, but it's not working. Figure it out. So it's going to be something simple like that. Yeah, so I mean, anything else anyone wants to see in the game before I close it out of here, or any questions on it? See the ugly outside of it. Oh my god, look how hideous that looks. Oh, one of the roofs. Yeah. Look how hideous that looks on the outside. But a drone level. Well, I'm glad you're excited, Crash Arl. Is there a possibility of expanding the DC cabin tree to allow for more argue of storage? So this is the basic storage rack we have right now. This is more of a server rack than a network rack, right? We are planning on making a network rack as well too. It's just this is our basic one right now. So yeah, I mean, we were gonna do the typical, what is it, 48U is the typical one, I think, or is it 52? God, I can't remember. So there is a possibility, yeah. I think it's 42. I can't remember right now. NDA to the city, state, and company, but I once wired half a plant with cheap drones. Huh. A drone level. I'd be interested in learning, like, that's an interesting one. Can't say I've ever done that or even seen that. So no plans for any server stuff or web server stuff. Um, Not trying to talk away from our game, but I have seen a game similar that's doing like a web server simulator type thing. Right now, our focus is just networking. Now, should that change along the trajectory of designing the levels? Um, yeah, I mean, like you saw in the demo level, the laptop in the demo level is basically just the Linux CLI. So it's possible we could, but there's no plans for it right now, and I don't know why. I think the demo level just disappeared for me. Okay, this stupid thing. Blah. Um, did someone say Kubernetes? Because that's how you get Kubernetes. Let me try to launch it again here. Um, oh, and that's right, Dante. I just remember we got to get with Kurt, and we gotta. I gotta get him to send me the new assets for. Um, oh my god, what levels were they? I think it was levels 5, 6, and 7, or no, 4, 5, 6. I'll try to remind Kurt. All right. I've said this before, but I'd love a survival mode or something where you can create and grow your own networking business in the game, take on clients, set their networks, and get paid to expand your business. Um, so, hold on. So, fools to your. Oh, why isn't it letting me scroll up now? Stupid OBS. So, fools, to your question about a survival mode, we have talked about something similar. Um, wow, I don't know why my. Okay. Oh, now I can't exit out of the game. But so we've talked about something similar, a kind of like, I don't want to say survival mode, but something similar to what you're talking about, where you buy stuff, you sort of grow the business, um, and we've talked about it. It's not totally off the table. It's it's we want to make it in a way that makes sense, right? Um, because right now, like as of right now, as we're developing this or we're designing this, is there's really going to be two modes of play, right? A story mode, which is going to be telling a story, and there is a story in the game, right? It may not be full frontal in your face, but there's going to be things that happen in the levels that will sort of start building the world. Um, and then there's going to be the sandbox mode. A career mode, it's I'm not saying it's not out of the realm of possibility. We've talked about it. We have some documents on it, but it's not in the plan right now. I'll just say that the other thing too that we've talked about, another mode that I would personally love to put in would be like a study mode, right? Where it's a sort of classroom setting, and you take all the basic topics of Network Plus, and that's going to be what those like little mini levels will be, right? Like, okay, level 1 of study mode will be, all right, subnetting. Okay, just like how you do those subnetting quizzes online, we'll put that in the game. Um, Practicing configs, practicing, answering questions and stuff. That is something we have talked about and would definitely love to do. Oh yeah, like it's there's so many things. I mean, shit. If we try to remain vendor agnostic, it'd be like CompTIA would be perfect for something like this. Um, and then all like you said, if Cisco, Juniper, Nokia, hell, we've even joked around like if Dell wanted to somehow collaborate with us on the game and give us Dell Switch images, which I'm a huge fan of Dell equipment, Dell's networking equipment. It is the best. Um, we'd even possibly discuss that as well too. I do not have good experience with Dell networking equipment at all. I have horror stories on Dell network. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's that's what makes this so exciting about the game. There's so many possibilities, and I love the fact that not only have we had people that are interested in wanting to like play the game, right? People who we've heard from people who aren't network engineers at all, right? Like we've heard from gamers that like, yeah, I'd play this game, right? Like if for just the cabling part, right? And then the fact that there's actual IT people that would be like, hell yeah, I would do this, or you know, playing this in schools and stuff. Like it's there's so much possibilities out there for it that we're excited for it, and we want to get it out there. Dear Reddit, the developers of this game have no opinion of Dell or other vendors. That is right. No other opinions. Insert disclaimer here. That's right. Dell EQ is tops. They bought out and shut down the equipment, just like Microsoft is the best for the same reason. Saying Dell EQ like Dell Equalogics? Or is EQ something else that I'm not familiar with? I remember liking Dell Equalogics storage. It was easy to use. I'm so far out of the storage game. Oh, equipment. Everything said in this stream is Zuby's personal thoughts and in no way represents thoughts. Oh, that's right. All right, we're going back to the Star Trek bridge. Going back to the bridge here. All right. Yeah, so I mean, that was the game, and there's been a lot of great talking in the chat tonight. So I wanted to do this part of the stream where ask any kind of questions, because there were some people wanting to know about like what it's like to be a network engineer. What is it like being on-prem? Permission to drop a personal anecdote that might be... Yeah, sure, go ahead. Just open up chat here. I'm looking for some of the questions that were in the Discord as well. I know the Voidcast had a question. There was someone else. Who remembers the Telcom MCI? Why does that sound familiar? That's sounding very familiar to me. MCI. Yes. thank you everybody for being patient with us. We know people want the game, and trust me, that's not lost on us. And it's we want to get it out. Like, we haven't forgot. Um, so it's just I know a lot of people ask, like, well, when's it coming out? When's it coming out? It's like, as soon as we have a date, then everyone is gonna know. Um, I mean, just for the demo, right? I know the demo has been the big thing. We have our list of and our so we use a project management app. I'm not going to pull it up here because it showcases other stuff, but I mean, I want to look at how many tasks do we actually have left for the demo. We have one, two, three, four, five, and then yeah, six. So we literally have 6 tasks left to be able to get the demo. Unfortunately, some of these tasks will take a while, and in terms of the coding required, but but yeah, it's not lost on us on what we need to do to get out. Um, and then, oh my god, oh yeah. Maybe one day, I would love. I don't know what you think about this, Dante, but one day when we get the game out, I would love to do like a behind the scenes video of all the documentation that we have been writing for this game. Like, I'm just looking at our drive, our file share, and for a for just this one game, the amount of like documentation um we have just for this game. I would love to showcase this, and all the and of course my favorite, the Visio diagrams that we have been making for the game too. Of course, because I love my Visio. How about the history of my Google searches on network? Oh my god. I wish we Dante, we should have recorded our long ass conversations about you asking me 5 million questions on the granular details of a packet, frames versus packets, layer 2 versus layer 3. Um like all that stuff, just oh my god, and just feeling like almost wanting to slam my head against the desk, like, oh my god, there's like, it was just some of the most benign conversations. Oh shit, voice system for Nortel. Okay, I've been missing chat. I don't really know how much assistance I can offer, but if you all ever need extra hands for monotonous, repetitive shit, I'm happy to throw in some man hours. No, I appreciate that. It's I appreciate all that. Like, we know we've had a lot of people reach out wanting to help, and it is very much appreciated. Um, and it's not that we don't want the help. It's we just know that at least getting the demo out, we know what we need to do to get the demo out, and then from there, it's God. All right, so let me put it like this, right? So the work that Dante is doing on the back end of the networking, building all the coding, the CLI, the all the coding for that. Essentially, once that is in a, I'd say, a good beta state, right? Like not even a full 1.0, but once that's in a good beta state, that makes getting the game out faster, because at that point we just then have to build the levels, and then we just plug and play in Dante's code, and write the parameters for what success equals to end a level, and from there that has probably been the biggest lag, is getting the network OS, for lack of better words. And then yeah, we need to reach a place where people can help, and that's part of what I mentioned before earlier in the stream, that if we have, if this other project that we're talking about, um, we start, getting the company funded, then we actually can reach out to people and be like, hey, you know, we want to contract you for doing this work, like, right, some of the boring stuff, right? Like, all right, build this level, all right, because it's just too many man hours. We'll pay you, right, and then go from there, or whatever work we need the help with, right? So yeah, it's yeah. So it's I saw some of the channel points thing have me sing a song. Oh my god! So that had to have been from my Oh my god! I forgot about that. I So I used to do a Magic the Gathering podcast, which is kind of sort of coming out again. Not really, but I used to play a lot of Magic on stream, so that's where some of that stuff would come. But thank you, Peaks, for coming on. I'm very appreciative that you stayed up super late. Um, Thank you a lot for coming. Yeah, go to bed. It is super late for you. Um, Very much appreciated. And Dante's right. We keep a list of people who are saying they will help. We've got it in a spreadsheet somewhere on here. We try to stay as organized as possible for this stuff. Oh my god. Yeah, it's slivers, best thing in the game since the 90s. Speaking of slivers, so this binder, you can't really see it, but this binder has nothing but slivers in it. It's kind of hard to see because I don't know what I did with the camera thing, but I've got a sliver queen in here. Oh yeah, it's literally every single sliver. Let me see if I can fix the camera thing. Was it a filter I put on? Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Oh, I'll show you something that'll make you drool. So, Sliver Queen. Sliver Queen there, Sliver Overlord. That's an OG Sliver Queen. So, yeah. And then, as I said before, I used to do a lot of... I also worked with Wizards of the Coast for a little bit there, too. And, they sent me a bunch of holiday cards over the years. I've got some of those, and then, yeah. All right, let me put my filter back on because I want to be back on the bridge of the Enterprise. Stardate 569974. We are leaving the planet of Tuscarian Espadia, of looking at the progress of the Network Engineer Simulator. Oh, snap. What is going on? Yep. Okay, just reading some emails real quick. Yeah, it does. Does anyone have any other questions or anything, or um? Oh yeah. I'm. God. I wish we could talk about the side project. I know I'm not directly involved with it, but I'm so excited for it, and it's it'll be really, really exciting. Should it pull through? But yeah. So I mean, if there's no other questions, I don't know. I guess I'll plug in. Let me remove the filter again. I'll plug in our book. Yeah, so our book. So we actually do have a Walrus product out. It's our D&D book. Is the side project illegal or legal? It is legal. Um, and so this is our first ever Walrus project or product. It's our first D&D book. We have the second one already being worked on. The whole team got to work on this and play test it, and we have all the art for it. It's both 5e and Pathfinder 2e compatible. A lot of fun. It was just a lot of fun to make and a lot of fun to play. Okay, one thing I feel I gotta ask that I normally don't get the chance to. What's the meme around layer 3 switches? I'm talking about that meme that I put in the other day with Kermit the Frog. Sometimes I wonder why there are layer 3 switches but no layer 2 routers. Or what exactly about... Okay. Well, I mean, switching at its core is layer 2, right? But a switch can be layer 3 if you add routing to it. I mean, why hasn't anyone invented a layer 3 wireless router? Ooh, right? Yeah, like using cables is for suckers. Like it's 2025. We should not be hardwired into anything. I guess it's kind of hard to describe, like, or I don't know. I mean, it's just a preference for people who like layer 3 switches. Um, the kind of network engineers that always frustrate me are the ones that make every single switch that they turn it into a layer 3 switch, even if they don't add any routes to it, right? They just still turn it into a layer 3 switch, even without routes. And it's like, why do that? I don't know, it doesn't make any sense to me. But hey, some people like doing that. Yeah. Any other questions or anything? Or I guess it's because all of our routers support a number of layer 2 functions, so I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's routers that do that too, right? There's some routers that can do switching functions. And then most routers aren't going to have as much port density, right, as compared to a switch. So, I mean, there's use cases for needing layer 3 switching. Just depends on the use case for it. I mean, like a core like switch in your data center will be a layer 3 switch most of the time, depending on the designer of it. Oh man. Yeah, anything else? If not, then we can end the stream here, and I'll make sure to get the VOD up. I suppose, yeah, actually, how does it feel to basically be developing your own networking, routing, and switching engine? Dante, do you want to join Discord? And, yeah, Dante, I'm the voice channel. device. Yeah. Okay. My mic's dying again. Oh, stupid thing. Is it still dying? Blah. Maybe I switched to my headset just for the time being. Alright, I'm gonna switch to my headset here, or my headset mic. Hold on. Now I'm very... Alright, stupid thing. Alright, I'm switching. Okay, I'm probably gonna sound much different. Hold on. I know you're in there, Dante, but I am not hearing anything coming out. Why isn't my... Hold on. No, I'm gonna unplug my mic. Keep on my headset. Let me close out of Discord and open it back up, because it's being dumb. Look at my voice settings, or headphones. Boom. Alright, can you hear me, Dante? Hello? Alright, oh, I think I know why. I know why it's not working. Because I have the stream on. I remember this with, shoot, I should have joined voice chat before I started streaming, because I remember this when I used to do the podcasting. I have to be in Discord chat first before I start OBS, because I'll have to close out of the stream. So, sorry. It's just one of those stupid things. Speaking of Halloween, will I be giving out candy or taking any kids out for candy? I don't know what I'm doing for Halloween. I'm sure my youngest daughter is probably going to go out. I don't know if I'm going to hand out candy or not. I'm still kind of up in the air about it. Let me put this mic away. Put it down there. Yeah, so, I'm going to close out of the stream here. Thank you all for coming by. If you want to take this chat to the Discord, I mean, feel free to go join our Discord and really just ask us anything in there. Where is our Discord link? Our Discord link. Put it in chat. Discord is right there. If you're not in it already, feel free to ask us anything. We're trying to do better to answer. And yeah, so I'm gonna upload this VOD on our YouTube as well, and I want to try to do better with streaming, at least because I feel like these were some really good conversations about networking in general, and just getting to chat with you guys. It was a lot of fun. So I hope you all have a good night, and have a good one. Bye.